The following is a paid program by the Whitley Law Firm. Welcome to Attorneys on Call, the program that gives you free legal information from the Whitley Law Firm. Now, here's your host, Drew Smith.
And welcome to the program. We are certainly glad that you are here because we're excited about today's program. We think it's going to be very informative, and it's a little bit unusual for the Attorneys on Call program, what we're going to be doing today. And our attorneys are going to be talking about that a little bit more in just a moment. But don't forget, at any time during the program, you can call the 800 number on your screen. You can also go to whitleylawfirm.com, which is a great first step if you might have some questions in case you do need an attorney. As you may know, Attorneys on Call is devoted to you and answering a lot of questions that you may have about personal injury cases. So whether or not you may have been injured in a car accident, you might have been injured working on the job, a workers' compensation claim, the Whitley Law Firm is here to answer those questions that you may have, which a lot of us really don't have unanswered because there's a lot to the legal process, and that's why the program is here. In studio with us, Ann Oxner and Ben Whitley from the Whitley Law Firm. Great to see you both as usual.
Yeah, good to be here, Drew.
Ben, you know, your dad started this law firm back in the 1970s. He and you and Ann and your firm, you've been representing North Carolinians across the state that are people that are seriously injured in automobile accidents and workers' compensation claims. Tell us a little bit more about your firm and what you actually do.
Sure. Well, like as you mentioned, I work with my dad and some Ann and Whitney and other excellent attorneys, and we're fighting for people all over the state. And these are people that need our voice to speak for them, that have been injured, work, negligence claims. And, you know, Whitney, as everyone on the show knows, does a lot of the pharmaceutical claims, bad drugs, the medical devices. So we're really devoted to doing that for people that really need us. And one of the other things that we're really devoted to is giving free information to you, the viewer, for things that you may not need an attorney for. And a lot of times, I spend so much time on the phone, we're talking to people that have been in car accidents, and I end up telling them, Drew, that they don't need me. They don't need to spend 1/3 of their recovery to pay for me, because many car accidents across this state are minor, you know, and that's the majority of them. What we handle are cases where people have been seriously hurt, where we can benefit them and making sure that the responsible person is held accountable. But again, we're devoted to giving free information. We give free information on this show. We do it on our website. And we have free consultations, so you can call us. You can call us about your car accident case, your workers' compensation case. And quite frankly, it's likely you don't need to hire and pay for us. But the consultation is free, and we'd be glad to give you some advice about what to do about your case.
And what is that like when a person calls and says, you know, I was involved in a wreck or my wife was involved in an accident? Tell me about what that process is like, that first phone conversation, because it is free, as Ben said, so there's not going to be a fee attached to that.
Correct. And in my experience, people just don't know where to start. You know, they don't know the process. And they've got adjusters calling them and they don't understand necessarily why, or they're afraid that, you know, they're going to do something that might hurt their claim down the road. And so that's, you know, it's what we do every day. You know, we handle hundreds of cases, but for people that are calling, this is their one and only experience. They don't know the rules of the game that they're now, it's not a game, but, you know, they don't know the rules that apply to this process that they now find themselves in. And so it's really just, how do I start? What's going on? Where do we go from here? Trying to manage expectations is usually how it goes.
Ben, a lot of times when people are involved, especially in a serious automobile accident, they'll be deluged with inquiries from attorneys. What should someone look at in hiring an attorney to represent them?
Absolutely. So, you know, we're all looking at daytime television or even nighttime television now, and there's just so many different ads for so many different attorneys. Some of these attorneys may have an office in your town, some of them may not. And then, of course, they're still getting everything in the mail. So it's you're right, it's a deluge of information. You know, we even hear of some of these, my dad calls them retail law firms, the big law firms that have intake attorneys who are really salesmen, that are attorneys, their only job is to talk to you on the phone. They're never going to handle your case, they're not going to trial, but yet they're giving you advice to get you to sign up. So it's tough out there, and you know that's one of the reasons I'm excited about this special guest. The special guest, Jan, who's a former adjuster, she's going to come on and talk about the perspective from the other side so that you can kind of help understand some of the questions that you need to be asking attorneys. But Jan works for another good attorney in Fayetteville, Billy Richardson, who has a lot of the same philosophies we do. You know,
Okay.
he handles serious cases, he supports his community, and he provides information. So it's a natural fit for her to come on and talk about it. She's a friend of Ann's. She's going to give some, I'm really excited to watch myself to get some of this information, this perspective from the other side.
And so we understand Jan is a licensed adjuster in North Carolina, and this will be fascinating because on the program, and for years we've talked about the adjusters and what that they consider to be important and such, but we're going to get that straight from a licensed adjuster today, from Jan, and it's going to be fascinating because you do work with the adjusters all the time, but for folks out there watching the program right now, I think it's going to be fascinating to hear the questions that are answered by Jan because it will give you some insight into the whole process. We're going to be back with Jan and much more right after this. You're watching Attorneys on Call.